So next, could there be a revival on the way for struggling market towns in the East Midlands? Hit by internet shopping, the recession and out-of-town centres, they've been in decline for decades, but new ideas are bringing people, shops and jobs back. Rob Pitton reports.
Market towns in the East Midlands are fighting back with a wave of new schemes aimed at revitalising our struggling high streets. Sometimes it doesn't take much either. Here in Ilkeston, thousands of people are being drawn back into the town by a simple initiative: free parking. It's only an hour's worth of free parking, but it makes a big difference to shoppers. What do you like about it?
That it's free and you've got an hour to just nip to wherever you're going, so yeah.
Does it make you more likely to come into town then?
Yes, a lot more, and I think a lot more people will as well.
It hopefully brings people into Ilkeston shopping, so yeah, good idea.
It's costing the council £130,000, but it reckons it's worth the lost money in car parking revenue. And how's it going?
Wonderfully well. Actually, a bit scary really, but yes, we had an extra 40,000 tickets issued in the first 2 months compared to this time last year. That's a 50% increase, so there's a lot of new folk about.
And shopkeepers too are noticing the difference.
You've now got people just coming in, they can go to the bank, they can actually have a quick wander around town and then go. Before, they just didn't bother coming in. So now you're getting footfall, you're getting people through that door, you're getting people looking through your windows.
The council says a Golden Hello grant of £1,000 for people to set up here has brought 40 new shops into town. And it's not just in Ilkeston. In Mansfield, the town's improvement team is on patrol, looking for ideas to boost its appeal. It's one of 180 towns across the country taking part in a scheme in which businesses pay a levy towards the improvements. It's seen spending on shopping here up 7% and crime fall by 66%.
The focus really is around the perception of Mansfield. People perceive it to be a not very nice place and not much on offer, and that really isn't the case. We've had some fantastic achievements. Our retail rankings rocketed, the expenditure in the town's gone up, and we're one of the safest towns in the UK, but people just aren't shouting about it enough and they're not proud enough. So with myself and these key retailers, that's what we're trying to get people to do now.
The programme means £500,000 has been spent improving shopping in Mansfield.
My business is going from strength to strength. Each year is getting better. I can noticeably see that the footfall is coming back into the town centre. More shops are opening up. The bigger high street departments coming back into the town centre, and the town centre is now flourishing.
No one's pretending the problems are solved though. In Ilkeston, the empty co-op building is a reminder of the scale of the task, and the co-op food hall in the town is closing with its post office. It's an uphill fight, but with footfall up and an emphasis on sprucing up our town centres, there's a hope the tide may be about to turn.
So as we heard there, Matthew, shopper numbers are on the up in Ilkeston and Mansfield. That's got to be good news. You're standing for Loughborough as the candidate in the election. That's also got a business improvement district like Mansfield. So how is Loughborough Town Centre shaping up these days?
There are signs of some recovery in the town centre, and they have pedestrianised the rest of the town centre so as to link the east and west of the town. Unfortunately, businesses in the east are not yet seeing that benefit, and to that extent we're hoping that they will do eventually. But if you look at somewhere like Shepshed, for example, that is in decline, and significantly in decline. And part of it is the housing that is being added to Shepshed in greenfield sites, 3 or 4 bedroomed, don't have the local jobs to go to, and to that extent they're moving out. It's becoming a dormitory town. They're moving out of Shepshed for the shopping and for the work. And so measures like car parking, which isn't really significant, paying for car parks, significant issue in Shepshed, isn't really relevant. So there really has to be an overall strategy for places like Shepshed.
Well, free parking's clearly an issue, isn't it, as we saw in Ilkeston there. A lot of people were very happy that they were getting it, and there's some positive signs there, isn't there, in Ilkeston particularly. But the Labour group there told us that they actually came up with this whole idea about free parking, and they now fear that the Conservative Council might not be able to fund it in the longer term.
I think they've seen the benefits it's brought to Ilkeston. I think anywhere that you've got people wanting customers, you have to provide some free parking.
But with all these
the Great
other
British High
cuts,
Street
the reality
in
is that you
Belfort,
can't keep going with free parking, for example, might be one of the things that could get lost in the mix.
Well, you can, because if you're going to have empty shops and they're not paying rates, they're not getting the income anyway, and they lose far more in rates than they are the £100,000 that they're putting into the car parking. It's a small carrot really to bring people into the town, and I think it's working.
Okay.
I think part of the problem with these shops is, I mean, I've been a leader of a council and I've been responsible for regeneration. There are two things you have to do. You have to retain and you have to attract. To retain, it's not just about parking, it's about what's on sale in the shops. So, for example, you need supermarkets and you need them closer to the town so that people can walk in.
And I guess if there's a lot of empty shop fronts, businesses think, well, I'm not going to go there.
Well,
Yes,
that's
they
true
do.
as well. There is that effect as well. But you also need, for example, complementary clothing, school clothing, for example. You need some reason for people not to go to the major cities. No disrespect to Leicester, Nottingham, wherever. But you need some reason for people to actually shop local, and it's what's in the shops that's
Well,
important.
it's interesting, isn't it? Because our region's actually bucking the trend on the empty shops story. Nottingham had the
looking
worst
much
record in
better.
2013, and now the number of empty shops there has fallen by 30%. So
It's a huge improvement. And Belper, Great British High Street, Market Town of the Year,
High Street
that
of the
has
Year.
really, really done a brilliant
how did it
job.
manage to do it?
It starts slowly, and it's not just the shopping, it's the cafe culture, it's the evening culture. The Ritz Cinnamon played a big part in it. But you've also got the arts festival that happens in May. You've got to do lots
you've got
of
to
other
think of
things
all
as
the
well.
other
It's
things around
all-
it then,
And I'm
really.
actually going to be working with Spondon, which is a high street in my constituency, and get them to work with Belper to try to help. And I think all these market streets should be working together to promote
well, some
themselves.
positive signs of recovery there, aren't